Hi guys, sorry it's been a bit of a late review, I've had a bit of a cough all week, but I'm here with a review of the grand freaking final of Series 10 of Robot Wars. Okay, so we started with the 10-way. 10-way! I don't know if you noticed in a few of these videos leading up, I was quite excited about this. It took me a while to think, how am I going to sort of talk about this? There's so much happening at once. So I'm going to go through robot by robot. Sabretooth were awesome in this. Their drums seemed to be more powerful than the actual heat. They had awesome hits on Apollo and Big Nipper, even taken off that sort of panel on the top of Apollo's flipper. Iron Ore, yet again we didn't see the flipper. Apparently it was some sort of radio transmittery problem with all the interference from the arena and stuff. So yeah, it's a real shame we didn't get to see it at all, because in real life it's freaking awesome. But it still got stuck in. It was using the arena hazards quite well, you know, kept hitting the tire to try and just make crazy shit happen. Big Nipper, I was a little bit disappointed because they didn't have their spinner, which was proved so effective in that heat. But I'm thinking that's probably like some sort of tactical thing, battery-wise, because there was no time limit to the battle, sort of thing. But it was still fun, sort of flipping with those sort of the claws things. They never seemed to grab anything of those. They just sort of like shovel stuff into the air. But that's, you know, it was still fun. Traction. Again, if you remember my heat review, I really wanted to see something from them because every fight there seemed to be over quite quickly in the heat. And once again, they were sort of quite quickly over. I liked their stupid little cardboard thing, like just taking a piss out of their teacher. After flop, I think is what it said. But yeah, the track came off pretty early on. And same for Expulsion, the other school team, sort of were out reasonably quickly straight into the pit. But it was great to see two school teams, A, like in this Big 10 way, and B, just having so much fun. There was no... Their attitude was just spot on. They weren't like, oh, you know, we're out or anything. They were just like, this is awesome, you know. Concussion, pretty solid performance. Like I say, caused the damage on Traction's tracks. Just going around destroying stuff, really. Apollo, can we just, I think, because, you know, we're sort of used to Apollo now. It's been around a few series. It won the first one, and sort of since then, obviously it hasn't done as well, but it's still done really well. But that flip on Iron Ore, just look how high that is. That 110 kilo lump of metal is flying in the air. Like, Apollo is still a monster, and yeah, it really showed off like just the strength of the flipper here. And again, they got really stuck in. Well, I mean, they did really well. They came second overall in that 10-way, and they showed the maneuverability, like when they sort of swiveled and flipped Sabretooth. That was awesome. Thor, the axe stopped working so early on, which is a shame. But they didn't give a shit. They were like, axe doesn't work. Sod it, and they just carried on just like ramming people in. They got quite a few people in the pit. Terahertz, always awesome, always mad looking. I really enjoyed John Reed sort of scolding Sir Killalot like a bad dog. Like, no, put it down.
No, that's not right.
And they also did a really cool self-right, I thought, like under pressure from Thor. Thor was like pushing them towards the pit, and they just boom, like sort of upturn themselves really quickly, and sort of, yeah, that was just, I don't know, just very impressive to see. And of course, Eruption, the winners. I don't think you can really say they're the best of all the 10 robots, because they sort of only started fighting a little bit of the way through. So, I don't know. It's a very crafty tactic, but it is an effective tactic, and their team kind of vibe is more, we're here to win, rather than, I think a lot of the people looking at the 10-way are sort of just like, oh my god, this is just going to be the most fun ever, like, we're probably not going to win, so let's just have some fun. Whereas he was very much like, no, I want to win this, which is fair enough, you know, it's you know, there's different types of roboteers and stuff. So yeah, crafty tactic, and it paid off. The 10-way as a whole, though, was just such a bizarre spectacle, just that many robots. Jonathan Pierce sounded like he was about to pass out. It was just brilliant fun. And I really liked Dead Metal just randomly appearing at the end. They didn't kind of make much of a deal of that. And I just loved the pit, just absolutely full of robots. Like, and a smoke bomb went off every single time. Like, how many smoke bombs are lining that thing? It just, yeah, not just that pile of robots, and Big Nipper sort of, you know, trying to drive over just nothing but carnage of robots. It was great. I loved the 10-way. It lived up to everything I thought it was going to be. God, I hope they do that again. Then we move on to the group battles. So we had Behemoth, Nut 2, and Carbide in the first one. Behemoth had a really good aggressive start. They were sort of going for Carbide straight away, and you're sort of keeping the pressure on in a way, doing quite well. And vicious timing from that little mini bot hitting the pit release, because I love that shot. They're literally just coming towards the camera and just like just gone. That was that was kind of harsh. Poor old Behemoth and their luck, but I think they did quite well. And then the rest of the battle happened. It must be something about joke or considered joke robots, unorthodox robots, and Carbide. I can't believe Nuts 2-1. That was phenomenal. And like I say, there's this phrase being chucked around, a lucky hit. But they've had a lucky hit in every single battle they've done so far, Nuts. So I'm thinking maybe it's not lucky hit, maybe it's an awesome robot. It was just phenomenal, and such good use of that little mini-bot, keeping Carbide sort of at bay, almost like beaching him permanently, as it were, at one point, so that Nuts 2 could spin up. It was phenomenal. At one point, Carbide actually running away from this tiny little mini-bot. Just an insane thing. And absolute highlight, possibly of this series for me, was the Captain Rory's face when Dara Breen said out loud, the Nuts had beaten Carbide. His face is just like, what the hell is going on? It was just fantastic, a really cool moment. So the second group battle was then Rapid, Eruption, and Magnetar. I felt a little bit sorry for Rapid in this battle because, Magnetar hung back to spin up. Eruption hung back just to, be cautious. So Rapid was like, well, someone's got to fight, so just went in for it. But then instantly got attacked from behind, and I thought that was kind of brutal. But it was a really cool fight anyway. I loved Rapid self-right, that like double somersault thing. That's the first time we've seen that. That was very cool. And the Rapid team really looked like they're having fun. You'd think sinking that much money into a robot, they'd be there just like, oh god, don't hurt our robot. But they were just like having such fun with it, which was great. I also love their gold middle finger. Like, why paint the robot gold? Because everyone's being like, oh, they're a villain because they're gold anyway. Why not just be like, yeah, we spent freaking loads of money on our robot, so you. I like that attitude. I think that's just like, yeah, sod it, we're just going to wear it with pride. Okay, right, so after this, all of the fights from this point of the episode onwards were ones that I saw live. And you've probably seen, I've uploaded 3 of those, which were the ones I filmed. 2 of them I didn't, just because, I want to enjoy the experience as well. Obviously, I've been so excited for this coming up that I've watched, especially like the Carbide Rapid fight that I filmed, I've watched that like 20 times since I saw it. And it's really weird seeing it like now via the official footage, if you know what I mean. It's something very uncanny about it, and it was cool seeing it though. Speaking of that fight, Carbide versus Rapid. Okay, so this fight started off actually really well in Rapid's favour. They were using that sort of, not using the flipper kind of just like easing the robots around sort of tactic they used with terahertz. They sort of got Carbide into the wall. And then they did get a flip in, and it wasn't close to going out, but it was close to the edge. But then, Carbide came back with such a vicious hit. It was almost like I don't know, it was just something incredibly vicious about it. And then, it caught fire, and it was spectacular. And the audience reaction to that was just, just like properly intense. And what a way to go out. And again, their attitude was really good. They were just like, wow, like if you're going to go out, let's go out like this, which was really good. And I think it's good because Carbide's sort of there occasionally reminding you, like, just because we struggled a bit this series, we're still freaking terrifying, like, remember that. Next we had Eruption versus Behemoth. When I was there, I was like, I want to see all the spinners, there's nowhere else you're really going to see spinners. I mean, apart from now there are some, but so I was like, when I saw Eruption and Behemoth, I was like, I could sort of see this fight live, one of the live events. I had to eat my words. It's such a good fight, and you don't need a spinner or an axe or anything extreme to make it a cool fight, because this was such a display of driving skill and like stuff. How come Behemoth always end up in that corner where they can't see? It's only Behemoth, like I swear, every time. It's really odd. It's so good to see them come this far. Like, they've worked so hard, and they should be so proud to have come like this far in this competition. Bear in mind, their design is essentially, on the whole, a 20-year-old design, and they're like up against some of the modern ones, and they're beating them and doing just as well. That's impressive. Carbide versus Nuts was awesome to watch as well. Like I say, when I was at the filming and suddenly Nuts turned up, I was like, okay. And then they got smashed up, and I was like, yeah, that's what I assumed would happen. Obviously, I hadn't seen this previous battle. All series long, we've seen these anti-Carbide weapons. Everything's building something with Carbide in mind. And suddenly, Carbide is making an anti-Nuts weapon. That's mind-boggling. That's amazing to see. And it worked. It worked very well. And Nuts 2 got shredded apart, which was sad to see. But there's absolutely no shame. They were the first robot in 2 series up to this point to beat Carbide. And then the final, the grand freaking final of Series 10, Eruption versus Carbide, so exactly the same fight we'd seen before. And to be honest, like, when I saw this, I was like, I don't know, they were beaten very easily last time, but then I hadn't seen Eruption for the rest of this series, so I thought, maybe they're in the chance. If I had seen them the rest of the series, I would have been like, oh no, it's just going to happen again. They're just going to take out their wheels and that'll be it. So I'm kind of glad. Well, I don't know. I think a lot of people watching at home without knowing this would have probably been like, oh, Carbide's on for another win, I guess. But wow, like, maybe it's biased because it meant so much to me being there. But I thought that was one of the best battles I've ever seen. It was just like such a back and forth, like so dramatic. Carbide's blade stops spinning and we're like, oh my god, it stops spinning. Then suddenly it speeds up again. You're like, oh shit, maybe not, And seeing it live with everyone screaming and cheering around me, myself included, it was just such an experience. There was a bit like in the middle of the battle where when Carbide's blade was going really slowly, but then Eruption just came up and just stopped it dead, as if to say like, no more, your reign ends here. Like it was just such a cool moment in that battle. And I'm not sure they got across on TV just how broken Carbide actually was. At the end of the battle, Sir Killalot had to pin it against the wall because the blade, they just couldn't switch it off, so they had to get like pinned against the wall while someone took the link out. So yeah, huge congratulations to Eruption. The tactician, as they call him now, and you can see it meant a lot to him as well. Like you say, I know they build up the drama a lot in this new version of the show, but it had meant a lot to him as a kid, and it's been his ultimate ambition, as it were. So that's cool, and it'd be intriguing to see if anyone can still do a Chaos 2 and defend the title. Like the first episode, I'm actually in this episode as well, very briefly twice. Once when they're announcing Eruption, the winner of the Eruption Behemoth match, you can just see me in the corner there, and also on the slow walk there of Eruption, you can just see me in the background leaning out there. So yeah, I know only I will spot that, but it's good. It's just yay, I'm in it, I'm on TV. So that was the end of the main competition of Series 10, but we still have two international championship-y matches, which air very soon, I think. And again, I was there at the filming for them, so hopefully I'll be in the background maybe for that, or if not, well, whatever. I've got some battles to upload again, some good footage from that. A lot of people were sort of fretting about no announcement of Series 11. I never thought we'd have Robot Wars again after Series 7. I thought that was it. So even if we don't get any more, it's still 3 series of Robot Wars more than I ever thought we'd get. And if it ends here on this grand final, which a lot of people are saying is the best episode ever, and yeah, I'd have to agree with that, then what a way for it to end, on a massive freaking high. It's best to look at anything extra as a bonus, I think. Thank you so much for watching as always, guys. Like I say, I've got more videos still to come, and I'm going to keep making some little competitors for you. And there's been a couple of mentions of maybe I should actually battle them together. I'm thinking about it. I'm worried that the one I'm currently making is actually genuinely quite destructive, so it might just wreck all the other ones. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Cheers for watching. Cheerio, guys.